are y'all today? Hello, family. Hello. So, hey y'all, my name is Belize Spivey. I am known as the STD Life Coach. I been living with genital herpes for 12 years and been living with oral herpes for 6 years. So you have the ability to have both types in different locations. We have all been taught that you can have it in one location, like oral is oral and genital is genital. But that's not completely true. You can have them multiple locations, but you can also have both. So I just want to say, hey y'all, how y'all doing? Talk to me. Tell me where you're located so I can shout y'all out. Y'all know I am in Atlanta, Georgia. I absolutely love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for rolling with me, loving on me. But today I want to talk with you guys just more of a live tip on don't settle. Okay, I really want to talk about this. So I really want y'all to interact with me. Don't feel like you just got to watch me. That's why I wanted to do it live so we can talk and interact with each other. It's okay. You 22 and you have type 2. Okay. When I found out I was 20, I think I was 20 or 20. I think I was 20. Yeah, I was 20 years old. I got diagnosed 4 days before Valentine's Day. Dang, girl. You were in a relationship? How was that? How did you what made you how did you find out? Like, I know you said you found out 4 days before, but how did you find out? Did you have an outbreak? Something of that sort? Y'all, if y'all have any questions, concerns, anything y'all want to drop in here, we're gonna be interactive today, all right? Y'all not just gonna sit here and watch me. We gonna talk back and forth. Back and forth. Let's talk, okay? But until y'all put y'all stuff there, I am going to talk about not settling. One thing I have noticed within myself, I have done it, but also within the herpes community, we settle. We stay in relationships with people who possibly gave you herpes, but the relationship is not working. We stay with people who may be cheating or abusive, and you don't have to deal with that. And that may not be physically, but emotionally, spiritually, financially, it's still abuse. All of that is still abuse. You may decide to be with somebody who is not up to the par. They may give you bare minimum activities, a bare minimum effort. They may not display the love that you're asking for. You also settle in a sense where you're not asking for what you feel like you deserve. So you may be in a relationship with somebody, but you're not bringing up the things you want or anything that you may have an issue with or you want to improve, because you feel like, since I have herpes, I don't have the right to ask. I don't deserve those things, or I should just be happy somebody with me. And I want us to kill that mindset, because at the end of the day, with that mindset, you get bare minimum. What you accept is what you get. My whole thing is, you can't expect somebody to give you something, but you accept them the bare minimum. They can be trying to love on you and everything, but you keep lowering in the bar. Don't lower the bar. Like, my whole thing, you want what you want. You deserve what you deserve. But if you believe you shouldn't deserve anything because you have herpes, I don't suggest you date. I don't suggest you do too much of anything until you get to a place where you know you deserve what you deserve. Because let's be honest, dating comes with its own woes, especially in the times that we in. So it's no need to be going into the dating pool with that mindset right now, because baby, outside is interesting. Okay, I was outside, I brought my butt back inside because I was like, what are y'all doing? I don't know what this is out here, but I don't want to have nothing to do with it. So I brought my butt back inside. I was like, hot girl summer inside. I brought my butt in the house. I went outside in April. I came back inside in May, baby. It didn't take me long to come back in the house, because I'm like, what are y'all up to? What is this? And my whole thing is, if you're struggling with your self-esteem, if you're struggling with your status, you will go out there and accept anything and everything, and it's not good for you. My bad, y'all. Hit a button. But you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. I'm talking to my men. I'm talking to my women. I don't care if you date men. I don't care if you date women. I don't care if you date both. I'm talking from both standpoints. You need to not settle with your status, okay? And you need to understand your status is a status. That's it. That's it. That's all. It doesn't change your personality. It doesn't change your worth. It doesn't change what you deserve. It doesn't change your personality. It don't change your goals. It don't change anything but how you view yourself. And it's important that your confidence is intact. It's important that your self-esteem is intact. I know one thing when it comes to self-esteem and confidence. Some people like do it interchangeably. Some people say them separately. But I feel like throughout life, your self-esteem, your confidence do this. because life beat the hell out of us sometimes, okay? So your self-esteem and your confidence do this throughout your life, okay? Some people, their self-esteem and confidence was always low because they went through a lot, starting from their childhood, and they have been struggling throughout their adulthood or teenage years into their adulthood trying to develop it, and then something else, and it keeps them in a low place. Or people had confidence and it dropped them low, and they don't really know how to get from, they went from a high to a low, and some people are struggling from a low to a high. And my whole thing is, it's important that you take the time to develop confidence. And I feel like this is something that you always have to work on. I don't think it's something like when you get there, you made it, because anything can take you off a pedestal too real quick. Any situation, health condition, relationship, something happens, something shifts in your life, it can change your confidence. Even what you think, most importantly, what you think of yourself can change your confidence. Everybody can think you're awesome. You could be having people hit on you. You can have people want to take you on dates. You going on dates. You could be having all these. But if you look at yourself another way, then at the end of the day, you are the person who's keeping your confidence low. Question is, are you the person keeping your confidence low? Are you the person doing it to yourself? Because you can't blame herpes then. Because at the end of the day, you're learning that nothing's affecting it. And I'm talking to some of y'all because some of you guys, y'all ain't had no bad experiences, okay? You ain't been rejected. You ain't had nobody made you feel bad. So I'm gonna speak on both spectrums. You don't have people, you ain't never had a bad experience with your status. You don't have people accepted, they wasn't tripping, all of that. But you are keeping yourself at this place of settling for nothing. You're doing it. And I'm telling you, don't do that to yourself. And I have people who have been out here and you have been rejected, or you have been having people who like, I don't want to, this, or you don't have some bad experiences with your status. But don't let them keep you low. My whole thing, don't let you keep you low, and don't let them keep you low. Regardless of the fact, you're the only one who can control if you're going to be up or down. So, Belize, how do I work on my confidence? How do I not settle? Tell yourself what you don't want to deal with. You don't have to deal with somebody saying, I'll be with you, but I don't want to do this. You don't have to deal with that. Listen, I'm a strong believer. If you're going to be in a relationship with me, you need to be open, and we need to be both comfortable, okay? A relationship needs to be comfortable. Comfortable. You don't want to be in a relationship where it feels restricted, okay? If you feel like you're in a relationship and you're being restricted, don't settle. Find somebody else. Well, but at least I don't want to be by myself. Then you still got an issue. You need to go sit back down a little bit longer because you believe you got to settle for that. You don't have to settle. You don't want to be in a relationship you feel restricted where that person don't want to kiss you, or that person don't want to perform oral, or this person, every time they touch you, they go in the bathroom and they get to washing their hands extra, or they wiping down all the toilets. And no, my whole thing, they got their own thought in their head, and they're scared of herpes themselves. They're not scared of you. They're scared of getting the status themselves and how their life would be. And my whole thing is, if you can see that and you can pick up that in a partner or a potential partner, don't stay with them, because at the end of the day, it's going to make you feel 10 times worse. And you're settling because now that person is projecting what they would think or what they feel within, and it's making you feel some type of way. You don't have to be nowhere that you don't feel like you're being supported, loved, or accepted. You don't have to do it. So also do that within yourself. Don't walk around and allow yourself like, oh my God, I'm so sick of my status. I'm so sick of myself. And I'm this and I'm that. I'm mad at myself. I hate myself. Blah, blah. You got to stop being mean to you. But at least how I stop being mean to you? Start. That's the first thing. It start by not saying some of those things. Like, limit some of those things that you say. I'm not expecting you to wake up one day and just like, woo, on top of the world. I wish we all woke up like that. But confidence comes with work. So you're going to have to reprogram your brain, and you're going to have to start saying things that you want to be true and not things that you think to be true, okay? Or things you experience or things that you're accepting, okay? You got to start changing. I'm beautiful. I have confidence. My status don't change, not a motherfucking thing. Herpes ain't no big deal. I'm going to get what I want. I want to be with who I want to be with. I deserve it. I'm not settling for anything and everything just because of that. And we got to remember that low self-esteem also comes, and settling comes with the stigma. You're just truly believing that you're at the bottom, and you're not. Stop listening to the stigma, y'all. Ooh, Jesus. Stop listening to you. It is a joke. I'm telling you now, it's all a joke. It's all a lie. The only way you are living in the stigma is because you believe it. The only reason why the stigma is affecting you is because you saying it. The only reason why that is because you hanging with people who make you feel that way. If you stop hanging with it, you stop being around it, then you don't deal with it. If you stop talking to yourself down and make yourself feel that way, then you won't deal. Belize, Belize, this is so hard. You right, baby. This is not an easy thing. I'm not about to sit here and say, oh, it's so easy. But my whole thing, anything worth it is worth fighting for. And I tell you now, you are worth fighting for. You're worth fighting for what you deserve. You're worth fighting for the confidence that you deserve. You're worth having what you want to have. You're worth being loved by the way you should be loved. Don't settle. Do you hear me? And I know it's so easy in these times. It's so much going on. We all have been affected by COVID tremendously. Everybody on dealt with something. Some of us are not mentally stable. You thought you were mentally stable. You learned real quick you was not mentally stable. But take the time to do the work you need to do within yourself, okay? Do that work and always continue to do that work. Even if you get in a relationship, keep doing that work. Don't get comfortable. Keep doing the work. But most important, you got to speak up. So speak up to you. Some of y'all are the bully. Some of y'all are y'all worst enemy. Some of y'all are literally stuffing the stigma down your own throat. Stop doing it to you. Because how are you going to stand up for yourself when you go outside and you deal with other people? You got to stop first, so then stand up to yourself first, so now you can do it to others. Because what you don't do to you, you can't expect nobody else to do. Okay? I'm about to go down here and read what's going on. Girl, you took your post down. I can't read it if you take it down. Stop being scared, honey. This is a safe place. You ain't got to worry about anybody saying anything or doing anything to you. But I can't support you if you take your post down. Because I just missed it and you just took it down. Y'all, don't be scared. I don't had this page for years. And nobody have ever been side noted. Nobody ever been disrespected because I don't play that. This is a safe place. So don't feel like you cannot ask the question you need to ask. This is a great place to be. Okay? No, I was talking. I seen you. I said I'm going to get back to you. Now you got to text it again. I want to support you. Girl, you could be married. I was married. I was married in the past. I was married for 4.5 years or 4 years. I was married. You can get married, honey. But my whole thing, just don't settle. What you want is what you want. Know what you want and ask for it. And be patient. And get to know people for people. And not looking for, I'm going to say this. Stop looking for perfect people. Look for people who have done the work. Look for people who have the ability to show you what they're capable of doing and what they are doing. I'm going to say that because so many people want to be married and a lot of people ain't never been married, probably never been engaged. And I'm going to tell you something. Do your work. And also, as you do your work, you're able to call out other work that people may have done or may not have done. And also make sure that person is doing what they need to do for themselves. And also have a voice. You have to be able to talk to your partner and say things to your partner. Because at the end of the day, y'all there together. Y'all are growing together. Y'all going to grow at different paces. And y'all are here to support each other through life. And my whole thing, you got to be able to grow yourself, continue to grow yourself, but also grow with the relationship. And as it shifts and turns and hoops and loops and all these other things, you have to get to a place of knowing I got to do my work, but I also have to bring what I do for myself into this relationship. But you also have to communicate. Okay? Saying that you can't communicate is not going to work in no relationship. It don't matter what relationship, especially not marriage. It is going to dwindle and die. You have to talk in your marriage. Even to get a ring on your finger, you got to put in something. Okay? And I know we all had this dream of what your relationship is going to look like. It could look like however you want. But you got to work for it. And you got to also have somebody else who's looking and have a similar dream to yours too. And y'all are doing the work for it. It's possible. Do the work. Okay, how do you deal with it emotionally? Most importantly, you have to allow yourself to feel. I think sometimes some of us are not trying to deal with it emotionally. We're trying to stuff it all down and don't deal. One thing you cannot do is to sit here and say, I'm not going to feel. I'm just going to be nonchalant. I'm going to be in denial. I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to even allow my emotions to get the best of me. That's a lie. Your emotions are getting the best of you with all that you're saying. You better off allowing yourself to feel. Feel. You're a human. Your emotions are letting you know something is wrong or something is good. Like something's going on. So your emotions are constantly trying to alert you on something. So when you feel excited, your body's like, oh, you excited, you happy, blah, blah, blah. If you're feeling kind of down, there's something within you, thoughts, body, something is going on. So if you're having some emotions where you're feeling nasty, disgusting, not feeling worthy, you need to figure that reason out. You need to find out why and to switch that up. So now you won't feel that way anymore. Absolutely. Absolutely, everything is possible. Listen, everything is possible. But you got to do work too. Okay? I'm a Christian too. All right? But I'm a strong believer in you got to believe. Faith without works is dead. What we're not going to do is act like you just going to believe and that's like literally just call on the name and that's it. You got to do some work, baby. Okay? He's giving you all the tools. He's telling you to believe. And I'm sure he's leading you in different ways on what to say, what to do, how to release some of that stuff, how to give that stuff to him. So don't just expect that's it. You got to do it too. And you got to believe in it. And what you believe in, you start working towards. Okay? But you got to believe it first. Many of us just struggle with the believing part. You got to believe. And that belief go like this sometimes. But my whole thing, you can't be fickle. You got to really stick with it. Even if you don't know how, it's just to believe. But emotionally, you got to allow yourself to feel. You don't want to stay there forever. But most of us are literally in a place of not trying to feel at all. Or some of you guys are in a place where you never allowed yourself to feel anyway because of something you probably dealt with in your past where you couldn't be emotionally free, or you felt like you could not express your emotions anyway, or you're scared to express your emotions because, just what you're scared what's going to happen or you'll see happen to other people. But I'm telling you, with herpes, baby, after your status, you want to allow yourself to open up and to be free. Because at the end of the day, a lot of those emotions you're feeling, like I said earlier, are not your own. The stigma is a joke to me. It is. It's a joke. It's not real. But if you believe it is, and if you keep playing it back in your brain over and over and over and over again, then it's going to tap into them emotions and you're going to feel all those things that stigma say you should. And it's not true, y'all. Yeah, the same day I got diagnosed, I met a guy with one leg and a lady who got shot in the head. I laughed when I got home. God was telling me he got me. I'll be all right. Absolutely. And my whole thing is, when you see people in situations that quote unquote seem worse than yours, just remember they were just where you were, where you received your status. Okay? Because I'm going to say this. Many of us look at other people sometimes and we think, well, at least it ain't that bad. My whole thing is what you're dealing with is bad to you. Them losing that leg, the lady being shot in the head, that was their bad experience. Okay? And they had to fight to believe in themselves. They had to get their, self-esteem back up. They had to heal themselves. They had to love themselves again. They had to do a whole lot of stuff. They had to, push out all the stigma that they have within themselves because of their situations. So just know, if you can see them and they have some joy within them and they're encouraging you and they're telling you, hey, it wasn't easy in the beginning, but you can do this. Or you can just tell that person loves themselves. You can do the same thing. You can do the same thing. But it requires work. Day-to-day work. Okay? But most importantly, getting around other people who are doing it with you. Trying to go through dealing with herpes by yourself is really, really difficult. I don't suggest it. I suggest you get into a support group, which I do have one for my ladies. Get into a support group. Get into a community that want to help you and get you through. Get around people who want to support you, even if you have friends, family, partners who do not have it, but they're being supportive to you. Get around those people and stay around those people as you continue to build your confidence, because they're going to help you keep your confidence up. Because you're going to have moments that you up high. You want somebody who's going to no, ma'am, you're not going back low today. No. Look, you're in a good place. Don't go low. Okay? Something I told myself the other day, you have to create this new world. Like when you're in a low place, you know what a low place, your low place. Okay? You got to create, when you get above that low place, you need to create a new place to go if you hit low again. Don't go all the way back to, I hate myself, I don't want to be with nobody, I don't deserve things. Stop going to the lowest of the lows. Wherever you grow to, you need to create a new level. So all you do is, if you're going to drop down a little bit, you drop to that level of like, girl, it's okay, you having a bad moment, or bruh, it's all right, you having a moment. Shake it off a little bit. Let's get back up and keep it going. But if you drop all the way back down to the pit, it's like starting all over, and it seems like it's so much frustration in it because like I'm starting over and over because it was hard to get out the pit in the first place. But if you keep dropping yourself back into the pit and dropping yourself back in the pit, after a while you don't even want to fight no more because like every time I get low, I'm gonna drop this far down. No, create a new place for yourself. And I had to tell myself this the other day. Create a new place. Okay, you don't develop yourself to this place. If you fall down a little bit, you in this place that's going to get you back up because you don't see how much you have grown. Not dropping all the way back down to like you just starting again. Okay? Exactly, true. Thanks. Yeah, I told my cousin who raised me that she didn't show me no emotions. They're narcissists and non-believers. I told her because she raised me, I was used to her being my mother figure and she was my whole life. I cut them off and they came with bad energy. I'm an empath, so I can't do it. Listen, you'll be surprised. Some of the people in your life are the reason why you're the way you are. They're the reason why you accept what you accept. They're the reason why. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes the people in your life is the reason why you accept anything or you're settling. But you also have to take responsibility that the people you're around are affecting you and they're causing you to think that you have to accept anything and everything. So my whole thing, if you're around some people who are like, they making you feel like you have to accept just the bare minimum. Oh, girl, just stay with that guy anyway. He gave it to you. Might as well stay with him. But they don't know he don't love you. He make you feel low, or you're with this girl, but all she wants is your money, and she don't care about your needs, and she clearly is not being there supportive to you. Like, no. Because some people truly do believe, well, if it was me, I'll just stay. Listen, y'all, I'm telling you now, most people advice that they give you is the advice they would give them mother they'll do for themselves. This is a decision they'll make for themselves. If you don't like the advice, that clearly don't take it. Don't take it. Don't settle. And don't even tell them, girl, no, I'm not settling. No, I don't want to deal with that. And I don't want you to think, and don't give me that type of advice. Because if you're giving me that type of advice, I believe you'll give yourself that type of advice. And if this happened to you, I wouldn't want you to do that. So don't tell me that and then turn around. If it happened to you, I'm very sure you're going to do the same thing. And people are like, no, I wouldn't. You would. Then why would you give me that type of advice? The advice that people give is typically the advice that they will give themselves or will do themselves. Especially if it's something like, really? Especially when it comes to confidence and things like that. Be careful, y'all. Don't take advice from everybody. Excellent advice. Thank you. They pushed me to my purpose and made me stronger. No, they know. They probably told me they'll probably told the whole family. They probably would have, but you, girl, you ain't even got to worry about it because you don't even talk to them no more. Facts. You ain't even got to worry about it. One less thing to even, bog your brain down with. Anybody else have questions? I want to answer any other questions that y'all may have before I jump up off here. I just want to support as much as I can. Any questions, y'all? As y'all get y'all questions together, but God have not gone, not going to give me, okay, but God not going to give you nothing and not give you strength with it. That's true. Like anything that you deal with in life, you have the ability to get out of it. I'm just going to say that if you put yourself in it, if you didn't put yourself in it, okay, regardless of the fact, you're going to be able to get through it. It's nothing in life that you cannot get through. And I know it's so hard to believe that, man, if that happened to me, I wouldn't get through that. I looked at your life and you've been through some stuff, but you got through it, so it's possible. But I think sometimes we look at our lives, especially when it comes, I'm going to say this again, about confidence. We just really, I think this is the one area that people have to understand. Confidence is something that you work at every day and all your life. I don't think it's something that you hit at a certain point because, like I said, life comes with so much stuff that can shake your confidence. But my whole thing, you are the one who is in control of how you view yourself. You are in the one in control on how you hold your head up, and you're in control on what you allow in and out your life. Only you, nobody else. Nobody else has a decision on who has access to your energy, your joy, your love, your peace, anything. What you give out, you're the only one who has control over that. But every day you have to constantly remind yourself, hold your head up. Hold your head up. I tell myself that, hold your head up, girl. And be grateful, y'all. Gratitude gets you so much farther because you'll start to just understand how far you have come and how far you're going to go. The guy that gave it to me had bad energy, and I kept ignoring it. I always tell people to listen to the energy. I was just in lust so bad. At least you're being honest with yourself. I think that's the thing. It's very important to be honest. Now, if you come into somebody like that similar, you won't move forward because at the end of the day, you know better. I apologize for the beat. Hayden! 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 Junior, hit that button in grandma's room. I apologize, y'all. That's just the alarm. I was like, dang, that alarm is getting on my nerves. um, so, hey, girl, hey! Hey, boo. I wish you well in your meeting. Thank you for stopping and saying something to me. But get back in that meeting, girl. Get back in the meeting. Yeah, now I know my discernment strong. I wish I had listened. He ain't take he ain't take my soul. My whole thing is we gotta learn, like, and I'm so happy you brought that up. Sometimes you don't learn, you don't realize how strong your intuition is until stuff happen to you. And sometimes you don't know to listen to your intuition until you don't listen to your intuition. And don't beat yourself up for not listening the first time because you're still learning how to trust yourself. Take care, love. So my whole thing is many of us don't know to trust what we hear within ourselves, in our heads, and our stomachs, and our minds, and our spirits, however you see it. It's because you never listened to it and followed it consistently to trust it. So my whole thing, this situation put you in a space where you understood, okay, I need to listen to myself because I felt that. I knew I felt it, but I ignored it. But now you know not to ignore those things ever again. But that comes with building. I think all this going to confidence of learning yourself. We all have to learn how we are warned. Some people get headaches. Some people's stomachs start to hurt. Some people hear this voice. They're like, mm-mm. Some people feel like, they just feel funky all over. My whole thing is you have to learn that and be confident in what you feel and what you know. Not trying to keep moving forward like, well, I feel it, I'm just going to ignore it. No, feel it, know it, and say, mm-mm. Or question it and say, hey, I'm feeling kind of funny, and ask questions. It's like, hey, you giving off a little something. What's up with you? What you into? And for some people like, what you mean? What you mean? They start showing you their colors quick because you don't call it out. But you got to learn how to trust yourself. And that comes with time, y'all. A lot of us don't understand how strong our discernment is or our intuition is, if however you view it, until we don't listen to it or we're in situations. So I do tell you, your intuition and your discernment is never going to lead you astray. It's never, and sometimes it's gonna sound different. So, because some people it sound different to them. Don't always think your your intuition or your discernment is gonna tell you like all the good things. It's gonna also tell you bad things. Tell you if a person's kind of like, yeah, they dibbling dabbling in different things. And I'm not saying from a evil standpoint, but more of a this person like they just into different lifestyles or they into things that you may not be interested in or something that you wouldn't settle for. So be aware of that. It may tell you this person's probably trying to harm you. It may tell you that this person got people around them that can harm you. It may not be them, but it's the people around them. Or, hey, this person is jealous of you. They may not tell you, they envious of you, and they may not tell you that, but listen to this. Listen to them saying this and this and that prove to you that they are. So it's different things like it. I ain't always say, oh yeah, you're going down to the left to the right, you're gonna find you a parking spot, or today you feel this unction that you're gonna get some good news. It'll tell you bad stuff too, so pay attention to it. And over time you'll get comfortable with yourself, because that's something I had to learn with myself, to get comfortable with what I hear. And sometimes you can be a little off, but it's all right. Shake it off. It's better off. I prefer to question it, listen to it, and get a little wrong than ignore it and it been right. That's just that. Thank God it's crazy how life is, because when you got diagnosis, I found out one of my friends passed from the street life, and I realized I'm blessed I could be dead in my grave. Listen, my whole thing is you're seeing how you're grateful that you're still here. So since you're grateful to be still here, then you need to understand this status was just a wake you up in a different sense, let you see life in a different place. And I think that's difficult for some people is to look at this status as a quote unquote good thing or a wake up call or a adjustment in life or a confidence like kicking a butt. You have to understand why your status came into your life. And I think sometimes we don't like to do that because like, well, I shouldn't have it. I said, I get you, but nothing happens in life for no reason. We all know that. And we would think, why do I have to get an STI to learn something? Well, why do people got to get hit by cars or lose limbs or get shot to learn things? We ask the same questions, but everybody's situation different for them to learn what they need to learn. So my whole thing is your situation is an STI. What do you need to learn? What do you need to learn? Do you need to learn that you need to make sure you don't settle and not to be with people just to be with them and not to be with people who just treat you any type of way and what is that? Or are you not asking the questions you need to ask? Are you asking for test results? Are you getting tested accurately every time? Are you getting tested like you should? Are you listening to yourself when you feel that this person don't want to have sex and that's not what I want, and you still stay? Like, you got to ask yourself, what I need to learn. Were you a type of person where you just thought you knew everything? I love y'all, but I met a lot of those in the community too. Like, well, I ain't had a lot of partners, or I'm not this and I'm not that. Baby, self-righteousness will come knock you down on your butt quicker than anything else. Feeling like you high and mighty, baby, will knock you on your butt quick. None of us are perfect, and nobody got it together 100%. It's all good, if you feel like you're educated, but don't ever believe that you know everything. Nobody knows everything. And sometimes it's to check your character. Some of y'all, it was a character checker because you just thought nothing that ever happened to you. I know what I'm doing. I always choose the right people. Blah, 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 blah. Neck twist, turn. No, baby. Wake up call. You just got to figure out what your wake up call is. I figured out what my wake up call was. It's like, Belize, you got to ask more questions. Belize, stop settling for different things. You don't deserve that. Love yourself more. I found out what my lesson was. Have you figured out what your lesson is? It ain't even about herpes. It's really not. It's about you learning something. Did you know anything about herpes? Did you assume that your doctor was testing you? You know what it is? It's like, oh, I trusted my doctors. I got to know to ask certain questions from this point on. Learn what you need to learn from it. So now you're not so caught up in the status and what you think it's not going to do for you other than what it's there to do for you, which is to teach you something. It's there to teach you something. I learned to how real God is, and he's really loved us. And that's why the Bible day wait until marriage. God don't want us to have STIs and emotions and headaches from sex. God really the GOAT. True. I'm going to say something to you. I'm a Christian too, but I want us to truly understand you still have to ask for information in a marriage and prior to a marriage. Way into marriage is I do suggest that you should. But my whole thing is going at it and not asking the proper questions will not guarantee that nothing will happen to you. Okay? So I don't want anybody's going in like, yeah, I'm going to listen. Don't forget to make sure you listen to the Holy Spirit and you ask questions. Just because you're not having sex until marriage doesn't mean you don't ask your partner when the last time they had sex. It doesn't mean that you don't ask your partner if they ever had an STI. It still doesn't mean that you don't ask for test results and get tested together. It doesn't mean any of that. You still do your due diligence. I think some people say that, but they're leaving out telling people still do your due diligence. Don't leave out communication about sex just because you're waiting on it. People are waiting on sex and get in their marriage and get herpes. I talk to people all the time because they didn't do their due diligence. Yeah, they were being abstinent and they were waiting and, they agreed upon waiting, but they didn't do their due diligence and making sure they were getting properly tested and talking to their partner about things. So make sure if you're going to wait until you're married, make sure you still have healthy sexual health conversation before you go into your marriage. You're not going to find that information just because. You got to ask. Or if you feel like you're led to ask it, ask it. Discernment don't lie. Intuition don't lie. If you feel like, man, let me ask this person if they ever had an STI. It's for no reason. It got a reason. It ain't just coming to you for just kicks and giggles. Ask. Because many of us just don't believe anybody got anything. And that's not true. Just because a person have never had sex doesn't mean they haven't had intercourse, quote unquote. Doesn't mean they never kissed any person. That doesn't mean, they never had oral sex on them. That never mean that they never been assaulted or molested or raped or anything like that could put them in situations. Y'all, we really have to come out of this bubble just believing just because a person didn't have, or they're waiting, or they never had full intercourse, that things probably didn't happen to them to put them in a predicament to still get an STI.
My ears still need that?
Yeah, just for a couple of minutes. Close the door for me, baby. And that's something I had to understand as well, y'all. I know many people who have herpes and never had physical sex ever in their life. No oral, no nothing. Now, kiss the person, but then you talk to them, they have been assaulted. They've been raped and molested. Things like that happen to them. So my whole thing, don't count no situation out because you don't know. And some people will not tell you these things. But you have to talk to people to find out. So I think that's one thing I am really ready for the world to stop thinking about STIs, that a person was just being quote unquote reckless, or that person wasn't being responsible. You don't know how that person ended up getting an STI. Now you got people who, they out there doing whatever, and then you got some people who are not. That's not their story. They are believing they're being safe as they could based off the information they have. When you don't know everything, baby, it do hurt you. Okay, if you believe your doctor's doing everything but they're not, it still puts you in a predicament. If you're believing you've seen your partner test results, but if you don't know if your partner's stepping out on you, it's different situations. Or your partner didn't know to get tested for certain things, or they thought they were getting tested for everything. So, I'm a strong believer in waiting, y'all. I would suggest if you can do it, listen, it's not an easy thing to do. Find somebody who else believes in what you believe in and go for it. But make sure, if you're going to do that, also make sure y'all have conversations. Please do not just winging it and just believe nothing will happen to y'all. That is so a setup. Don't do that. Ask questions, because I know many people who are not telling their partners, and it's not cool. And that's something that needs to stop. But the stigma has got people in a chokehold. Got them in a chokehold. They feel like they won't get what they deserve. So that's all I want to talk to y'all about. So it's been a minute. I just want to come on here and talk to y'all. I'm going to start doing lives on here more often, y'all, because I like talking. Another thing I learned is to get tested the first date and to always use condoms. I knew him since 2017, and he didn't tell me. Listen. We can't just be so trusting. And that's everybody, okay? Me included. We can't be so trusting. Everybody got to get the same treatment. Everybody got to get the same treatment. Because you treat people differently, then they be the one who probably do the things to you, and you least suspect it. Most of the people I talk to, they end up getting herpes out of a long-term relationship, 2 to 3 years or more. Okay? It's not always y'all thinking these one-night stands and all that stuff. That's not always the story. Most people who get herpes are in relationships. Hey, love. How are you? God bless you too, baby. Thank you for coming on and interacting with me. But y'all, let me jump off here. But I love you. I'll be back. Okay? I'll be back. We're going to do these more often. So I love you. I appreciate you guys. And I hope this truly did help.